Leo, and welcome to How to Attract Abundance for Leo in August. And happy birthday. I guess I should have said happy birthday. I don't like, literally, the older I get, because I do tarot now, like, so, like, all the time, because I think that, astrology is good, and astrology is good, and astrology is real. And I think that the more you know about astrology, the more powerful it does become. But I do think that astrology is mostly for anxious meth heads who are trying to make sense of their life outside of the fact that they need to stop doing drugs. There, I said it. Because I feel like you could use a pendulum, you could use tarot cards. I mean, tarot cards, you still have to have a lot of esoteric knowledge. But I really feel like you could just use like pendulums or runes or something and just like cut to the chase. And I know, so like just admittably, I do not like to admit that I'm wrong because of the way my chart is positioned. I like to think that I'm technically a Leo. I'm born year of the monkey, which is a Leo equivalent, some people say. And I never like to admit that I'm wrong. But when I do my sample readings on Reddit, sometimes I'm wrong about people's sun sign. Sometimes it is their rising or their moon or their Venus or some bullshit. And then sometimes like I'll be like, oh, it's a Cancer or a Scorpio, I'm pretty certain. And they're like, no, they're a Pisces, blah, blah, blah. So now I just be like, this water motherfucker that you're talking to, this earth asshole, because sometimes I'd be wrong. And I think it's good to be with an astrologer or a spiritualist or a tarot reader who's like, I got this mixed up, I got this backwards, I was shuffling through my cards too quickly, I put the deck in the wrong place, da 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 da. And it even makes me think about this one woman I did this reading for who, like, I mean, I don't really care about her, but I guess I could address it or whatever. It's like the only negative review on my Thumbtack account where she's like, so basically what I told her is that you need to meditate and slow down. And then she had all this buyer's remorse about the reading because she felt like it didn't resonate because she didn't like my style of reading or whatever, what have you. And I'm like, well, if you would have slowed down and meditated like I had suggested within your third eye or in your mind's eye, you probably could have seen that you wouldn't have liked the reading. Or you would have gone to YouTube and saw how I read, what I read, and what all my interpretations are because they're all on YouTube. So because you're fast and impulsive, and I'm pretty, like, I was like, I'll give you more time if you want. I was using these angel answer cards. So I was using a different deck of cards, but like at that time, still at this time, like my readings are fire. I do readings every day, all day. They always resonate, and they shock. Like I'm not even trying to, and maybe this is the space to aggrandize myself because it's a Leo reading, but they literally shock me. Like I'm literally like, oh my god, this bitch is lying. There's no way that this is true. Because, I see things in my cards, like sometimes the Eight of Pentacles is Judaism. Sometimes, the Hierophant talks about like Christianity or Islam or whatever. But all 2 years, the past 3 years, I keep seeing the Ace of Wands, or not the Ace of Wands, the Three of Wands as being like Palestine, like the Gaza Strip, like Exodus, Moses, the Holy Land, the Promised Land. And it's like, when does that ever come up in a reading? You know what I mean? So I've been seeing it for almost like 3 years, and then I did this reading for this one woman, and I was like, oh, you like really care about what's going on in Gaza. And she's like, oh my god, yes, I'm Palestinian, blah, blah, blah. Of course I care about what's going on in Gaza. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, yeah, you like really care about it or something. And then I was doing a reading for this other woman, and I kind of already felt like she might have been Indian, like just like to begin with, but I didn't see anything like super confirming it in my cards. And I guess I'm talking about race, religion, and creed in the Leo video because Leo is like a vibration of the Hierophant and number 5. And I was looking at the Strength card, and that came up. I was like, oh, the Strength card, I always see this as like a need to balance your sacral chakra. And the chakra system comes from India, so like this lady's probably Indian and probably Hindu. And I was like, have you ever dabbled like in Hinduism or Buddhism or something? And she's like, I'm literally looking at my statue of Lord Buddha right now. I've been Hindu my entire life. What's the other one? Oh, well, this other one this is like from a long time ago. I was doing a reading for this woman, and I don't know, like her voice didn't really give any type of race, and maybe mine did. I don't know. But I was like going through the reading, and her 12th card was the Hierophant. And I was like, are you familiar with a deity called Obatala or something from Ifa? And she was like, Ashe, yes, I know Obatala. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he's with you, and he's guiding you, he's right here in your reading, watching over you, protecting you. And I thought she was I was like, there's no way Obatala is protecting some fucking random white woman. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, she's a dark-skinned black woman. I was like, oh, okay, cool, crazy, cool. Had no clue. And my mom, her, alcoholic ass readings, which I guess that was her whole thing, was that, she was like, oh, I'm your tarot reading homegirl, which is good, but she wasn't really homegirl, and she was just drunk, so. And that's kind of my vibe, is that I'm like tarot reading, homeboy, little brother, whatever you want to call it, as I was the little kid who like never went outside, read astrology books, I was never really into anime per se, so I do feel like a hyper fraud with that, because I like super hate anime, but I love manga. I love the art style behind anime. I don't like the actual animes. Like Dragon Ball Z is like, it was cool when it was new, but now it's like insufferable. The amount of times I've had to watch that story through video game, comic book, and television is insane. It's like, just make a new show, like Jesus Christ. The amount of times I've seen Gohan get kidnapped by Raditz is insane. Like playing through the story mode of the video games and stuff. So super, but like I'm not like an astrology girly, I would say. Like I don't know any of the celebrities' zodiac signs anymore. I don't know what sign Zendaya is. I don't know what sign Tom Holland is. Like, I'm from the era, I know that Chris Brown is a Taurus and Rihanna was a Pisces, and I know that Chris Brown actually has a rising Taurus as well. Like stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like that's when I was like, oh, what's their sign? But sometimes, and then I think like when people are like, oh, guess my sign. I'm like, I don't know, a jackass, a donkey. Like I don't know what your sign is. But there's like little things that I'll hear about a person, or a person will say about themselves, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what your sign is. So this video is not about how Leo can attract abundance. This is just all about me and my abundance, and screw you, because I'm the Leo. But real quickly, the last 2 points is that like I was watching Ginger Minj do Tammy Faye Baker on Drag Race, and I was like, like super religious and known for crying. I was like, methinks she's a Pisces. Look it up, March 7th. And I'm really into like Broadway. So I guess like if I'm being authentic, don't like anime, do like manga, love Broadway. And so I was watching this interview that Sutton Foster was doing while she was doing Shrek, like the Shrek musical. And she said okay to the news anchor when she wasn't talking. She's like, oh, okay. And she's like, like she had, because she's telepath. I was like, oh, Sutton Foster uses telepathy. I was like, she probably doesn't even know the lyrics or the words to any of the songs she sings. She's probably like juicing somebody else's brain for like 10 miles away. I was like, she is a super psychic person. I was like, she's probably a Pisces. Go and look it up, March 17th. So that's like the type of things that I see. Like I'll literally see, and then somebody will say that that's like autism or something, but I was like, no, I watched it in her face listening to this other woman's thoughts. And watch a couple of them. Watch Sutton Foster interviews. She's psychic. It's creepy. It's weird. It's so weird. It's really funny to watch. But okay, so how can, probably dating a psychic Pisces, the end, don't even need to look at the cards, but let's see what the cards have to say. How can Leo attract abundance in the month of August? So I see, I guess like this is more instructional than like what you got to let go of and what you have to hold fast on to. But I think that like, so as I'm going on, like, I'm not an astrology girly anymore. I don't know anybody's sign anymore. I'm old. Um, it says to walk away from these earth signs. So you might have like a Taurus counterpart who is holding you back and keeping you in a like, I would even say, like, while we're talking about Sutton Foster, I would say that the Taurus perspective on life is actually the New Age perspective. It's from the 1950s. It's how to succeed in business without really trying. It's modern Millie. It's, not getting married and, moving onto a farm. It's like moving to New York City, sleeping with the maid and sleeping with your secretary while your wife spins out of control at home. That's New Age. And then being into astrology and spirituality and the Vedas and Vedic astrology and numerology, I would say that's like very old world. Like that's very like witches of the Black Forest in Germany. And I see it right here in your cards. It's like it might be heartbreaking, but like you probably even know within your natal chart that this Taurus that you're highly associated with, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that you're highly associated with, is not good for you. And you might read it in astrology over and over again. You might see it in your natal chart. They might not be compatible with your rising, moon, Venus, like everywhere that you try to plug in their seaport, it's not working. And it's really heartbreaking. Three of Swords. Every time you might want to go and break up with them, it starts raining, almost like creating an atmosphere for sadness. But it's like, as a Leo, you can't be perpetually happy. Positivity can become negative after a while or cause loss. And we talk about positive and positive negative energy, and it's like positive energy is something that creates gain. So getting angry at somebody who owes you money until they give you the money that they owe you is a positive action. Being sad or depressed until somebody gives you what is owed to you as you're trying to raise up socially, financially, spiritually, energetically, whatever adjective you're trying to boost and bolster, and this person's holding you back, whatever energy you dispense to them, as long as it's earning you something, is a positive action. And I see that, so this card that I see, the hidden influence, here, or whatever I say, is like what is ever is like secretly stealing your abundance. So if abundance to you is cornflakes, just having 20,000 boxes of frosted flakes or whatever, this hidden influence is stealing like 5 of them a day. And the hidden influence is temperance. So is being sober and calm of mind and having, the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Is that stealing your sense of abundance? Of course not. What is stealing your sense of abundance is sobriety. So like the want and need to be sober. So like being a drug addict or somebody else's addictive behaviors subtracting from you. And as a Leo, your energy can be addictive. You don't even need to smoke or toke or whatever. It could literally just be being around your like bright, bubbly energy and the shine that comes out of your eyes, or whatever else, your big old ass or whatever it is, and maybe getting people sobering people off of your energy, or knowing that like it might be quiche and cute right now, again, to do cocaine and ketamine, but those things are very serious. They're not a joke. It's not cute. It's not just because, white people do it, it must be fine. Because it's not. Those people will, blow their nose off into oblivion and end up begging for money on the street corner, but you don't see that part. You just see them at the party with a glass full of champagne and drugs, until they go away mysteriously, and then you see a whole nother set of young, influential, handsome, beautiful people doing the exact same act until they rot and fall away like they smelt like fucking fall leaves. And then, so what is going to bolster, boost, and increase your sense of abundance is the Two of Wands. So, Two of Wands, it's like I always kind of see it as the Sublime song, like smoke 2 joints. So, maybe instead of doing crack cocaine or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe just smoke a joint or a blunt every once in a while. Maybe mix weed and tobacco until it's just weed, or until it's just tobacco, and then until it's just nothing, like dwindling down. I know the two all of the cars are building energies, but I kind of see this one as like not doubling down, but like slowly. Um, Remember that sandwich from KFC that like didn't have bread? That was so weird. Just came to my mind. But it's like slowing down, not imbibing so much, not and it's actually this thing talking about anime for 45 minutes before this video started. Um, I think it's Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. He says that the best spice in life is hunger, and that might sound very desperate and sad to some people, but you know, if you're literally sitting there and you can't get any pleasure, you know, like you can't get any wood, you can't get it up. You're watching movies, they don't make you laugh. You're watching Family Guy, you have a straight face the entire time. Things that used to bring you so much joy and pleasure just make you feel numb at this point. You might be thinking, I need more. I need to add more to this. Oh, this one bump isn't getting me there. Now I need two, and two's not doing it. I need three, and I need a syringe, and I need this, and I need that, and I blah blah blah. And you've gone overboard. Whereas a smart person would say, okay, when I drink this Kool-Aid or when I drink this iced tea, where I used to put 3 spoons of sugar and it would just be good, does not taste sweet anymore. Some people would add 6. Some people are like, oh, well, maybe I need 6 spoons of sugar. Maybe I need 12 spoons of sugar. Just pour the whole bag like blindly into the concoction. Whereas a smart person would be like, okay, these three spoonfuls of sugar no longer taste good anymore. I need to start drinking this tea without any sugar. And then when I go and put 1 spoonful in, it'll taste like 3. Let that resonate with you a little bit. Like, so, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, and I used to put 3 Splendas in it, and that used to be enough, and now I need 10 Splendas just to taste anything. And it's like, you're getting robbed. I mean, I know you don't have to pay for Splenda by packet or anything, but if you did, let's say like when you go to the coffee shop, a packet of Splenda is 15 cents. So now you're paying more money when you could literally be like, okay, how about I have this coffee with no Splenda for a week, or no sugar, or equal, or whatever it is that you drink, stevia. And then you're like, okay, now I'm only gonna put 1 packet in, and that 1 packet is gonna taste like 10, and now you're winning. Now that's positive. Where somebody, most likely some Earth sign or Taurus, you know, might be like, oh, you're losing. You're not. That's not abundance. Like having 1 packet of sugar in your coffee is not abundance. And it's like, but the bolstering of the abundant energy, because now your money is abundant. Now, you know, your life is abundant. You're abundant with good health and strength of your teeth and vitality, and not ingesting harmful chemicals like aspartame at an alarmingly large amount. You know. So how can Leo definitively attract abundance in the month of August? Is like smoke 2 joints, maybe 1 in the morning, maybe 1 at night, just to like, you know, get yourself and your mind right, but you know, not all day, every day. And then the outcome from that is the Hangman. So to me, who is a former astrology girly, like, I think that Leo, Virgo, and Libra are like all the same sign. Like, I know they're different energies and they're different elements and this and that, but they all seem like the same, like, bi-curious, uncertain, insecure, daddy issue sign to me. Like, they're just like the kids you go to school with, you know what I mean? Who are like, I need to pass this test so that I can get good gifts from Santa Claus. And you're just sitting there like, Santa Claus isn't real. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, saving their teeth for the teeth. They're saving their teeth for the teeth fairy. I know what I said. But this brings you at a crossroads. It's like, do you go ahead and believe in the teeth fairy for the rest of your life? You know, knowing that it's not real, knowing that you're being manipulated with your belief in the tooth fairy, or Santa Claus, or Jesus, or God, or you have been manipulated, or do you go on to this new world of what you already know and have experienced, which someone might be telling you is new age and sacrilegious to practice yoga, even though you grew up as a Catholic. And it's like you would have never grown up as a Catholic if they didn't, lose wars and not honor peace treaties. You would still be worshiping Chalk or Quetzalcoatl or Shiva or Vishnu or whoever you're supposed to be worshiping, and whoever's ultimately still granting all your wishes and prayers, even though you don't give them any offerings anymore. And the outcome from that is the world. So it's like you'll feel more complete, you'll feel in love with your body, because maybe there are things that you were told that are incorrect about your religion, that you had to be a certain way or think a certain way or be some certain type of person that made you feel ugly. Maybe you grew up Mormon and you look at your melanin as being a curse from God, and it's like you may know that's not true, and Martin Luther King and everything, but it's indoctrinated, ingrained in your head. So every time you feel bad or not in favor of God, you're like, oh, this is because of my skin color, or you grew up Catholic and you're like, oh, this is because I didn't eat fish on Friday, or you're Jewish and you're like, oh, damn it, I ate that fucking bacon and now this is why I'm being cursed, and it's like, no, it's not the bacon, it's not your melanin, it's the bad negative actions, it's the fear and scarcity that you're operating under, but it's just something that's been indoctrinated inside of you. So you're heading towards this, you might start worshiping Odin, you know what I mean? Like take a walk on the wild side, like look into, like I said, pendulums and runes. So, just, it'll be okay, Leo. And it's the world too. So, somebody, it might have convinced you that being overweight is a sin, or being underweight is a sin, or showing your body off is a sin. And it's like, well, all these Greek deities that were worshipped are always half naked. It's almost like it's a part of their magic to show off their naked bodies and have people worship them. As the Hierophant and as Leo and as Taurus are after people washing their feet and worshiping them. All right, so that's my message. That's how Leo can attract abundance in the month of August. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.